Okay, Shalom. I want to give all the praise and honor to Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem Rakah Kwadash. Double honor to the elders of the great millstone who taught me this truth. A sincere Shalom Labakarium Shah Yasharallah. That's peace to the hopeful elect of the nation of Israel. Now, who you're looking at on the screen here is Dr. Greer. Get a good look at this liar, you know. And I say liar because in order to lie, you got to know the truth. And I do believe this guy is controlled opposition. And it's the reason why they are now listening to him and releasing him. Sort of like Alex Jones. But yeah, he got good information. But that don't mean he's for the people and for you. Because there's no reason why, if you know this guy, know his history, there's no reason why he shouldn't be arrested right now. All the dirt they got on Dr. Alex Greer. But anyway, this is that major press conference they had down at the major press building in Washington, D.C. So I'm watching this right now, and it's, you know, it's intriguing. This is on Redacted TV, you know, YouTube channel, Redacted News, and they're going over the UFO segment because they just had a major meeting where all of a sudden Esau is bringing out all this information about UFO crashings, reverse technology. They got UFOs also. We had these vehicles for years. I mean, out of the blue, they popping up with this other world information. And I mean other world. They won't say it, but when you tell someone you have these crafts in your possession, you're speaking about the fourth dimension. So they glancing over this thing like they found a Honda Civic crashed in the tree or something. You know, I'm going to let some of this play, but this is embarrassing, man. To the hopeful elect that know what's going on, we knew you had to come out with this soon or later. You know, there was no getting around coming out with this, but the way you got this positioned down there in headquarters of Washington, D.C., this is embarrassing, man. You got people coming out saying they got the UFOs in the backyard. We don't know if it's true or not because we know our Lord is on the scene right now. But you got all these generals coming out saying how they saw UFOs stuck in the mud. They couldn't get out. They saw UFOs in the trees. You know, but they're downplaying the technology of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai. That's what they're doing. With all this so-called disclosure, they're actually downplaying the technology of our Lord as if he's something to be captured. Like, you know, Bigfoot or something. When he comes into our atmosphere, he just crash and we can retrieve, you know, the vehicle and reverse the technology so we can weaponize it. False hope you're giving to your people. False hope for the new world order. So let's get into this, and we're gonna get a script, man. Hold on.
With you very quickly, I think people in the military and in Congress and the American people need to know the difference between the man-made advanced technologies and how they look and the extraterrestrial vehicles. We're going to run through a side-by-side.
Look at this shit, man.
And see.
And what you're going to see, this is Hollywood. This is green screen. Look at the movie. It's called Wag the Dog. You know, they got government officials that team up with these producers, and they can create this stuff. Just because you can create the look of the saucers that was handed to you do not mean they can perform the moves. And that's what we're going to get into, the scriptures. You cannot perform the moves. You cannot appear and reappear. You cannot fly at Mach 10 and stop at the drop of a dime. Anybody in those vehicles, bones will be crushed, oxygen depleted, everything. Your drones have a certain coordination from from the north to the south, east to west. That's how they can tell a drone movement. But when you're talking about these ships, what technology do you have, Esau, that can sit next to the sun and absorb solar energy? We're looking up in space. We're not looking at these. Look at these crafts. Now you can create this stuff with a green screen. You can actually put metal, screws and bolts, and actually get you something in the Air Force that can lift up with an engine. The vehicles of our Lord is increasing, decreasing, declining, inclining. I mean, come on. I saw a UFO. This was about 2 years ago. It was the ISS caught this. It was sitting over the earth. Now, the size of it was about the size of the state of New Jersey. This is their description. But it expanded, it ballooned to the size of the earth right in front of their face. What technology do you have that can do this? You're selling false hope because you're at the end of your rope, man. 2nd Ezra 6:9. Esau, you the end. The end of an age. And Jacob, is the beginning of it that followeth. And that's written in the heavens, starting with the elect. Look at this shit, man. Hold on.
The left, seamless. It is actually created in a material science and technology we don't have time to go into, but we understand that, versus the man-made ones that have components, parts, wires, and what have you. Next. And again. Next. And again.
Look at this shit, man.
On the right, that is the Norton Air Force Base 1988 air show.
That's Dr. Gray lying ass.
We have a witness who was in there, and these on the right are man-made. They were late Mercury era, 59 through early 60s in their construction, because we had mastered gravity control in October 1954.
So he goes on from there. Now, one of the most explosive whistleblowers is a member of the military, United States Marine. They're decorated United States Marine.
And listen to this nigga.
U.S. Marine assigned to the Philippines. A platoon of 6 men discovered a UFO. They came across it after the tsunami and subsequent earthquake and then subsequent tsunami in the Philippines and Indonesia. It was being used in some kind of human trafficking operation. And this is where this story is
now they
crazy.
putting out this is the spin with this meeting the other day in Washington D.C., man, that they're using these reverse technology spacecrafts to smuggle drugs, to smuggle prostitution behind, like, as Esau set up this society that's so righteous, and the only way to get around is to use UFOs to bring in the drugs, the prostitution, the guns behind the back door so they can't see, because Esau's society is just so righteous and the UFOs are wrong. So they're demonizing our Lord, so when y'all see him, you can run. But that's good. That's your lot. Run. I suggest you run. Because they're going to be terror to you. I suggest you run. So this is out here to keep you 2/3 away from our Lord when he show up. Panic. Yes, you better panic. Because these UFOs only doing 2 things. Saving the hopeful elect of the nation of Israel and destroying great Babylon, as well as Israel. Israel going to be wiped out also, thus saith the Lord. Ezekiel 38, Ezekiel 39. Come on.
Reverse engineer craft, off the books craft, And this is a stunning story. Even the Daily Mail confirmed this story yesterday. Exclusive. Marine vet breaks 14-year silence to make astonishing claim that his 6-man unit saw a hovering octagonal UFO being loaded with weapons by unmarked U.S. forces who threatened them at gunpoint while serving in Indonesia in 2009. So the Marine is Michael Herrera, and he came forward yesterday for the first time and told us this story. Listen.
Thank you all for being here. What I'm about to tell you hasn't been something that I've disclosed until recently in the help of Dr. Greer, among other people, so I appreciate your help with this. In 2009, my unit, which was most decorated infantry battalion in the entire Marine Corps, which was 2nd Battalion, 5th Marines, was called in to do humanitarian assistance operations out in the Philippines, which was Operation Quetzana. And we flew to the southwestern part of the city, which is Padang. Looked a lot different through satellite imagery that I've recently seen. Back then is a lot different, especially because most of it was decimated, on fire, rubble, flooded, you name it, basically the worst kind of scenario you could ever see. We trekked up about 300 meters. When we got to this high point, I was taking video camera, and I had actually turned to the north, which just kind of slopes down. And right there was something that stuck out like a sore thumb, especially with jungle terrain, things like that, vegetation, very green stuff, was something that stuck out so well. It's always going to be basically imprisoned in my mind for the rest of my life, and it has been for 14 years, was something that was rotating, and it was transitioning between colors like a light matte gray as well as a dark matte black. You can see that the craft here actually was roughly about 300 feet. And the reason why I know this,
that's supposed to be the craft, y'all.
You could fit 3 of the helicopters that we flew in on underneath this craft. And it had an audible hum to it, kind of like a guitar amp if you were to unplug that, or like a transformer. It's very audible. If I was to hear that sound again, I could tell you, okay, it's probably this thing or something similar to that. It's very distinct. And the way that it was floating, which was about 10 or 15, 20 feet off the ground, it was kind of a very eerie thing to see because I've never seen anything like that in my life. When we got up to that point, we were then intercepted by a team of soldiers or rogue military force, if you will. The most concerning thing about this is they all had American dialects. They had American gear. They had OTVs, black. They had black camouflage. They had very similar setups to what we had, but more high speed, something what you would see special operation groups these days have. They had no insignias on. They had no ranks. They had nothing that would signify who they were. They had black ball caps. They had M4A4s that were equipped with ACOGs, which was a step up from what we were currently issued, as well as PEC-16 IR illumination devices that you use for night vision and night patrols, things like that. So we were engaged. We had 8 of them put the drop on us. You could audibly hear them blow the safety selectors off. They basically started screaming at us, telling us what we were doing, we were not allowed to be there, who were we with, what were we doing there, threatened that they could kill us right then and there. We could get lost in the jungle. They could throw us out of a helicopter if they needed to. It was very nerve-wracking at that point, especially looking to my fellow Marines and seeing the...
Man,
all right, Shalom. I want to give all the praise and...
That's the spirit, man. I don't know what just happened. Just switched. But, yo, do you see this? I guess the Yahweh Shema said it's enough, man. You just can't trust E right now, man. You heard all that stuff he was spitting down. You just cannot trust him. This is what our Lord said. Let me see this here. This is Job. This is Job 13, verse 4. But you are forgers of lies. You are all physicians of no value. Now, when you forge something, you write over it, man. So he's glancing. He's trying to write over the takeover right now, but he won't. You won't get it, man. You won't get it. You can't not stop the prophecies. The takeover is about to happen, and I mean, man, I am so happy that to see these guys scrambling like this. This is unbelievable, but it's believable because we know the prophecies, man. We know that Esau was going to come down with great wrath. That even means his tongue. His tongue is a sword. Now he got these generals, man. You heard the story. You just heard this guy. I don't believe one word. I don't believe one word. And the hell with that damn Dr. Greer. All these men are under pressure because at the end of the day, when these ships do show up, they want it to be for the benefit of the white people. At the end of the day, they still want their position, their houses, their jobs, their bank accounts. They don't care what happens, just make the earth better, long as they still come in at the top. If they find out anything less than that, they demonizing it. They going against it. And when we on the streets telling them they're going into captivity, Revelations 13, 9 and 10, Isaiah 14, Revelations 2:25, Songs, the second chapter, so on and so forth. They don't like that because they got to pay for the punishment of putting the children of Israel into hardcore bondage, which are the children of Israel are the so-called African Americans, Jamaicans, Haitians, Puerto Ricans, Dominicans, Mexicans, Panamanians, Cherokee Indians, Seminole Indians, all these names you put on them. But they are known as the 12 tribes of Israel, suffering a punishment from our Father, Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua, now soon to be released. They don't like to hear that on the street. That makes them nervous. Like Revelations 11 say, they were affrighted when we stood upon our feet. So now they want to spin the narrative, because, they see us on the street, they say, well, damn, how they going to get out of our clutch? Then we telling you to your face boldly that our help is coming from up top. And you say, what's up top? Then you go look at these YouTube, because now your Pentagon, the White House are coming out saying that, yes, we are being invaded, but don't worry, because they're crashing and we're taking them. And they're shooting us and we're shooting them. When you look at the rest of this interview, they saying that they killed some of the angels and some of the angels killed them. So it's an all-out space war. So be encouraged, white folks, because your government, mind control government, has your best interests at hand. And it's a lie. You're a forger of lies. You're going down, E. You're going down, and you know it. And you're going to leave the rest of these good white folks to hang out and dry while the takeover happened. You ain't got none of those spiritual mobiles. You got nothing but an idea printed up in your mind by your artists who can sit back and take your romanticizing about the crafts and how you would like one of them to crash and catch a disease like World War Z. The crash come in, and the only way to defeat them, they caught an American earthly disease, and they crumbled. That's what you would like. But nah, these crafts control what's going on in the earth today, dummy. This is all prophecy being refereed by these spaceships, because those are the messengers of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua. Let me just show you a little bit of power of these ships. This is 2 Maccabees 5, verse 1. And about the same time, Antiochus prepared his second voyage into Egypt, right? Because he went in before, but he coming in again. And then it happened that through all the city, for the space of almost 40 days, that's about a month in a few weeks. But month in a week is, yeah, about a month and 1 week. There was seen horsemen running in the air. Now these horses represents power. Power. So they were seeing ships. Now these ships could have transformed into the form of horses for this time. When you go back into this date, this is about what? 300, 200 BC. So there were no vehicles around with rubber wheels and metal. They were still riding in chariots. So the chariots could have, from up top, could have revealed themselves to Antiochus Epiphanes in the time that they knew. But nevertheless, it says, and then it happened that through all the city for the space of almost 40 days, there was seen horsemen running in the air in cloth of gold. Can y'all reverse technology? Can you do this? Let's see your UFOs react and act. Unleash them. Show us. Because what these UFOs was doing, let's read on. There was seen horsemen running in the air in cloth of gold and armed with lances like a band of soldiers. Isaiah 31:5, the Lord coming back like birds. The Lord, that's a military. What you're looking at is the Lord of armies, the Lord of Sabaoth. He hosteth and mustereth up this battle. Let's see your vehicles, your space, show it off. Y'all doing a air show right now in Germany over Europe to intensify the pressure on Russia, right? Bring your vehicles out. Let's see it do this and make it look beautiful. Because these angels was laced in gold. They doing their thing in gold chains. Third verse. And troops of horsemen in array, encountering and running one against another. So they was challenging and jousting each other up top, man. And y'all got clips from the ISS, the UFOs up there just having fun. You know how Jake do, man. We in the playground, we running, catching each other, playing tag. You know, Jake get rough with each other. So you know our brothers, man, we get rough with each other. Slap boxing, man. We up there putting on the show. That's what they was doing. They was up there putting on the show. Esau, get your vehicles up there and put on the show. Show us what you got, but you don't. What you got is artists designing a picture, putting metal bolts and screws together, man. And multitude of pikes and drawing of swords and casting of darts and glittering of gold ornaments and harness of all sorts. Check this out. Wherefore every man that was with Antiochus, right? Every man with this proud guy, God manifested. He talked a lot of shit. He did a lot of shit. But the Lord got him. He gave him a damn bacteria deteriorating cancer that ate him up from the inside out. Wherefore every man prayed that apparition, because that's what the Lord about to do. He about to show some apparitions might turn to good. And that's what y'all doing right now. Looking up in space saying, man, I hope these UFOs gonna come clean our air. Or they gonna clean it, but your ass gonna be swept away with it because you polluted it. You're the trash that gotta go with the air. Our Lord gonna clean the air, he gonna clean the water. Look what you did to the fishes, E. Look at what you're doing to the birds, man. Whole creation is groaning. Romans 8. To get your ass out of position, man. So that's just more updates. Still keep them in my eye because they releasing this report in little segments here, segments there. So that was redacted. You know, you can see the BS that's coming out. We know what those UFOs are. Those are IFOs. Those are the crafts. Those are the crafts. The UFOs are the chariots, and they've been here since the beginning of time. And now they about to come and deliver the Lord's elect. Matthews 24, 30, and 31, giving all the praise and honor to Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai Ba'ashem Rakah Kodash. Shalom.